scared of height. Some people scared of driving fast. Some people scared of ghosts. Some people scared of the truth.
Okay, so we are back and it's time for singers and players of instruments. As you know, it's Reggae Wednesday. So with this feature, we dive deep into the beautiful month of February. And as many of you know, this is Reggae Month. So for the for the rest of the month, we'll continue celebrating the legends of reggae music, both singers and instrumentalists. I'm just I don't know what's happened to me this morning. I'm mostly nervous. But today we are doing something a little different.
Yeah, we are going to be focusing on something incredibly important, cultural awareness. This segment is brought to you by IMSCO, the International Multi-Shared Cultural Organization, and of course our friends and family in the diaspora.
So, what does culture mean to us, and how do we define and preserve it? That's exactly what we'll be diving into today. And to lead the conversation, we have no stranger to the show who we just spoke with, our very own resident expert on Focus on Africa, DeBenki. He's back with us to share his insights, and he'll also be joined by a special guest, Dexton Kumbi Davis, a former member of the renowned international reggae band Mystic Revealers, a talented guitarist and music teacher. Good morning again, DeBenki. Good morning to you, Dexton Davis.
Yes, so before we get into the discussion, Kumbi, welcome. We'd love to hear more about you. Tell us a little about your upbringing in Jamaica and growing up in a musical family.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so yes, and welcome, Kumbi, to the Hello Jamaica show. And yes, can you tell us about, your growing up in Jamaica and a little bit about yourself in your music career?
Again, greetings to the Slum Shooting Radio audience worldwide. I Dexton Davis was born in Montego Bay. So it's three segment in terms of born in Montego Bay in that city. I would consider it a ghetto right and in Gravelly there beside 14 police station. We were partly there and also in Kingston, a little bit in Trenchtown, also in the country of St. James, Care Coach. Mother, I was in prison for that son.
Oh, wow. Trenchtown. Listen, Trenchtown is responsible for so much people's musical careers. It influenced so many people musically. So, that's amazing. So, tell us now how you got involved with the Mystic Revealers.
Well, growing in Montego Bay, being in the music, start music in school, in children's school, elementary school, to the high school. Learn a little bit and then start to learn more. So now when I reach in the teenage, like about 17, 18, 19, with a man called Carl Bryan, a well-known saxophonist, Carl Bryan, called tenor bar because he was so. And then after coming to Kingston again, I would turn into Kingston to live a little bit in Elliston Flat. Well, not necessarily in Elliston Flat, but in a place they call Dreadites, Bedward Pastor. And we feel for a few years. That's been around the kind of Billy Mystic.
Yeah, Billy Mystic. Pick up yourself, Billy Mystic. We love him so till.
Yes. So we're talking about like 80, 85, 86, 87. Then start to really go on and play with them, playing guitar, and, putting a strength to it, and that's where we come together, Billy. When I went to see Billy Mystic, that Anthony Wilmot.
Yeah, Wilmot, man, yes. For those who don't know, Royal Thomas Estate, Wilmot, he was one of the actors in that drama. Billy Mystic.
So it's him. Played partner called Stevie.
Yes, and I know about it well, yes.
I saw the members were Leroy Edwards, Nicholas Timbal, Nicky Henry, that is, and Patrick Walker, Stan Patrick. So those we were the four members that really bring the group to a level where people start to really know about us and start to go around, give some flashes, some festives, Europe, all over Japan, the Caribbean, all over the world, except Africa. We didn't went to Africa.
Okay, wow, wonderful, wonderful experience. So now let's dive into the topic of the day. What is culture? Oh no, actually, sorry, my mistake. We want to play a song from you first. From you. We're just going to play some of your music so that listeners can hear your music. Okay.
There's gotta be a better way to this hypocritical system. Gotta be a better way, because the people are always a victim. There's gotta.
That was Kumbi. That's one of his songs. Great song. So, DeBenki, we're gonna get into the topic of the day. So I'm gonna let you take over.
Yes. Just want to introduce Kumbi Davis, Dexton Kumbi Davis, also as a reggae artist. So for this month and for this segment in the month of February, we want to bring attention towards cultural awareness. And we're glad to have Kumbi Davis with us to have this conversation, as well as tell us about his journey in the music and in the culture of Jamaica growing up. I think it's important to raise some level of cultural awareness. In the US, February month is considered Black History Month. In Jamaica, it's considered Reggae Month. Good opportunity to remember and consider where we're coming from and where we are in terms of struggle. Each generation have to pass on the baton to the next. So while we explore reggae music and musicians and singers of instruments, we want to see how the reggae music ties back to the broader culture of Jamaica and how it helps to preserve our story. But for clarification, so you listen just now to the voice of Billy Mystic from Mystic Revealers. Dexton Davis would have been a musician on the instrument, on the guitar. So we want to go down in some of the culture, some of the history, some of the developments, and what developed into reggae music. What was the expression? What was going on at the time? Reggae music being a timestamp. Can listen to a song from the 60s and it tell you what's going on in the 60s, 70s, 80s, come right up. So the music is a part of the message and and everything. It helps us to tell our story and pass it on generation to generation and keep the culture alive. So from that perspective, Father Kumbi, why you talk to us about the music, talk to us about the 60s and talk to us about the culture and you're growing up in Jamaica back then and come up to now. Today we take a different approach, tie the reggae music to the broader culture and history of Jamaica. When some people talk about culture and refer to like eating jerk chicken and drink red stripe beer and drink rum. But when we talk about the culture, we talk about the stories, we talk about where we come from, we talk about the vision for the future. So today we want to touch upon the Coral Garden incident. This would happen in Montego Bay in the 1960s and how that shaped the grassroots culture and the music of Jamaica. Welcome again, Father Dexton.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Ryan. So, glad to the clarification. It was who really was saying that song. Got to be a better way with the title of that song, Mystic Repeaters. We're considered a group, therefore we were the artists of that song. But that song was written by Billy Mystic, and he was the leader for the country. And still that's why that was. Yes, in regards to the Pearl Garden incident, that was just a youth in a pity, I would say, and that happened now in 63. That gave me about over 3 years of it. So, what I remember after the incident, straight through the 60s, that I used to reach like 7, 8, 9 years old, even when I was going to elementary school in the country that I came from, I find like I see a whole of discrimination against people who carry locks, my father at the time, when I born in that situation, my father at the time was a full-fledged Rastafari. You know, as a matter of fact, them time my father had to wear shoes. Like the original man, they went to wear shoes, walk from Kingston to Montego Bay. Um, just try with him rather than, them where they need to try. And therefore, at that time, Rasta was considered either mad outcast, just alienated from the whole society, which was, in a way, what Rasta will from that time, and it's society as a system that don't try to progress of black people, and therefore Rasta utterance at that time was more about Marcus Garvey, back to Africa, I Selassie, I down with the poor, down with the creed, and I said natural living creation, and then a certain way of life. Not so much like when I see more that even when the organization next started from, like the Bobo and the DeBenki and the 12 tribe and whatever other organization under the Rastafari, to find it to religion. At that time, when I know my appointment, that it's more that, later on in my teeth and forward, into Kingston again, I find him as a member of a project of Kingston, and then therefore I also get, I also a member of project of Kingston, but I kind of not necessarily so much with that in terms of the religious side of it. I like the application and the progress of the public position. Yes, oral garden was what it is in terms of, I think, more like a discrimination, like a Rastafari get being told not in that eyes. My woman at that time, I think we have to treat about to the kids, so yeah. Come up with that.
So the Coral Garden incident would have been an incident that happened like in the 60s. And just to clarify, this had to do with in a Montego Bay when the hotel industry was being developed. I have Rastafari communities in the area close to like Half Moon Hotel and these hotel areas. And there was an incident to basically get off the Rastaman off of the land, and it triggered resistance and resist a gas station, and then it turned out in a island-wide campaign against the Rastafari cultural movement, with the Prime Minister at the time, Buster Manti, said, anyway, you see the Rastaman, you must shoot first and ask question after. And that's just one example of a campaign for this start any indigenous communal movement for the development of Jamaican grassroots culture. Another example is Pinnacle, with Leonard Owell set up a commune in St. Catherine. That again was disrupted, and everybody have a shift go to Baka Wall, and then afterwards Baka Wall itself get dismantled and restructure. So it shows a campaign which basically the leadership of Jamaica basically cut off its nose for spite its face in its efforts for control and curtail the Jamaican expression and culture. I think at this time a situation requires full redress and require context, and that is why myself and Kumbi Davis have a study group and a research and development group where we basically go through the history and the culture and find ways and means and see where we're coming from as a people in order to project forward. On our previous episode, Major Mackerel mentioned the need for a reggae museum or a Jamaican African Cultural Museum, we could call it that. So Kumbi, you always talk about your old man. Talk a little bit about your father, your old man, and how he play a role in the contribution of the reggae music and the development of the culture.
All right. Well, I before I go there, so I like that you touch on the government and the whole don't try to Rastafari in Jamaica. You see, the whole thing we have to remember also that these two political parties in Jamaica, the agenda was to stop the people from also looking to occupy. The agenda was to keep the people them under the British rule. Right? That's why they were against the movements of Marcus Garvey. Norman Manley and Buster Manti was really the repatriation and those things was really the thing that they set up a system that they benefit from and have it still under the British rule, which is still under that up to today, which we still find the people still killing out each other because two parties up to today. We still find the government still a push out people who consider to be grassroots people and people who don't have a voice, have a land, that they even sort out, go with them machete and sort out things and deep and set it up. I go on the inside, go live after they run out people to say, don't live in a society, go away, go and push, or go in the gully. After man set up gully and set up things that come together now, pick them up and have investors come in and set up. That just one day on Bob Marley Beach, you know, and that been going on forever since, you know, so it's a thing. In regards to my over now and the development and moving towards what very much at this point, my woman is well known also as a producer and songwriter, well, good friend at the time with Bob Marley. He was my first person who did the audition for people who wanted to do Scotland Studio back in the 70s, 80s. People sang like Big Marley, Bob Marley. Yeah, we up and did, yeah, one, you know, one, four, five, six, something like that. But they usually pick to the tomorrow again. That's the thing. Nadine's first set of songs, Starvation, and then drum one like me. Okay. Nadine Sutherland. No. All right, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nadine Sutherland, I think that she was sung with Terry's Fabulous Action. She do a song there, but in the night, that thing. Action, yeah. So, yeah, man. So it was wrote down for people like Dennis Brown, Luciana, Sophia Judge, Gurley, Tina Stewart, Noel Veteran, and that sounds, you know, and plus these are artists himself. And he just started yesterday from Ethiopia, just with Ethiopia. So, you know, yeah, man, so it's still doing extra. So I always mention it because of the direction that he point me into, even when I start to say, with music, you know, it's one of them that advise me to also don't just rely on music and saying that looking kids and the kids to and be fine, but also try to develop a career in something else, which I choose teaching, and therefore coming to America, go through the college circuit to associate degree, bachelor science and a master's in things like education. So also that is what established our check.
Yes, give thanks. Big respect to Father Sankey Davis. So 1 year where Mama B and Son Diamond have to say.
And you know, I am amazed because I didn't know that this guy was so connected that, you know, and knew everything. Because I'm in studio, you know, thinking, oh my God, Mystic Revealers, Billy Mystic, it know Billy Mystic. And then it mentioning Nadine Sutherland and a bag of people, Terror Fabulous. And I'm saying, wow, this guy has his stick together. My youth, you continue the same way, the man. And I'm telling you, it's so good to hear that. So into the culture, into the music, and now with music, we can't get the young people that we ask them about so into the culture, into the music, and now with music, we can't get the young people that we ask them about certain artists, them don't know who you are talking about, you know, DeBenki. No,
Okay, so we're just gonna, you know, DeBenki was saying about playing a song. So, engineer, can you just start it from the top and so the people can hear the song that DeBenki wants to play? Yes.
Oh, Ethiopia. Oh, Ethiopia. Your children coming home to Africa.
We coming home to Africa. We struggle in America. Struggle. We struggle in Canada. Struggle. Work in England. London Bridget.
Yo, yeah. Wow, DeBenki, yeah. Addis Ababa, wow.
So yes, this conversation kind of different. We try to bring out the cultural element so that the youth them can get a focus of where the thing coming from. That's what the music is, cultural expression. So we have to get to the root of the culture. Reggae music is a cultural expression. And if we're not careful, the whole thing just becomes a catalyst for the youth them just drunk and drink and lose our consciousness, awareness.
Well, because we can't kill off the one like that.
That's why this is a reminder. Because even at the US, we have Black History Month. So Jamaica shouldn't take it for granted. So you have a reggae month, which leaves out the culture and the history and the struggle. Jamaica no short of reggae music. What we short of is context and proper cultural perspective. Unity are when everybody see what go on and willing to do something and play them part. Reggae music help with that. And also institutions rally around a vision, which takes into account the youths them lived experience. The other day, I was watching an episode with a film crew who come down from Canada from a program where them call Hill and Gully Ride. And them capture the stories across Jamaica in the different communities.
Yes, man, I'm on Sundays at 6 o'clock. Yeah, man.
And that's how the radio station can help to capture the message and context the stories, and from this lead to further development based on a program, That is why myself and Kumbi Davis, we facilitate a study group. We go take the history back from 3500 BC and take it up to 1500 AD. And that is the worldview, that a long view will help people to understand what's going on instead of just pick up from where we pick it up in the schools and say, hey, here's a bunch of people who come from the bottom of a boat and this is what you got to do. Education will lead more towards enlightenment and intuitiveness, and that is where reggae music lead. It's a music that come from out of the heart and it take on to the whole world. And it's a Jamaican cultural expression. And the Jamaican culture is an extension of African culture. And that's how Jamaicans lead. Jamaicans lead with that warm culture.
And the music plays a big part in that as well. And can I tell you, DeBenki, I'm having a big fight on this very station, because them players stand a Lovers Thursday. Them no want hear no Lovers rap. Them no want hear no reggae. Them want hear R&B and soul. How can you have Lovers Thursday and don't have Lovers Rock? So it's a fight trying to get the people them to know that we're lovers also. We have great Lovers Rock. Why should you exclude them on a Lovers Thursday? When the people them calling them request, them only want request Celine Dion and them the people there. Like with Barry's Hammond, with Gregory, with Dennis, and vex me, bad debate.
Well, that says it all, Mama B. The fight is for the culture. Once you lose the culture, you lose the fight. You see? And it's a cultural war. Where we have to fight with our own culture to win it. A man suppress your culture and suppress your values and impose a different set of rules. So the music is like a weapon. You have to fight with it.
Can I interpret? Yeah, yes. Greetings again, Marty. So, it's always a thing, with Jamaica growing up. Remember that the radio station didn't play Jamaican music. They didn't into reggae music. They were more into foreign art. Yeah, that's why you find the Jamaican artists, even Bob Marley himself, at the copy. Yes, foreign art. I myself do a song, Chili and a jet player, cover.
You know that something.
So what I'm saying is that people like myself now, although yes, we the impediment of reggae is in us, not because of our music per se, but because of our culture, because of where we're from, originally from Africa. So that is in us, and it's part of our DNA. Come out with creativity, come out with that kind of spirituality of telling a story, what's happening to us what has been happening to us and where we're looking forward to go.
Yeah.
Because of that, they don't want to hear that. But even the love songs, because I have love songs, but it's still not going to be just baby, I love you. Try to uplift over here and you should be the one.
Yeah.
So they want to do that kind of thing. They don't want that kind of thing. They don't want it to lead to a system where we start to downgrade Kumbi. Yes, eradicate. I start to promote violence against each other. I'm trying anything you want to do with that. So they prefer you say, Kumbi, they prefer you be with,
Hi, can you hear me? Kumbi. Yeah. Kumbi, can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, we have to close off this the interview now, but we can continue next week. But it's because we have an outside broadcast, a live broadcast that has to come through, so we have to end our show today now. But thank you so much for coming on the show, and DeBenki, very nice. Yes, but we're going to continue this. This is just the first of greatness that's going to continue through the month of February. So thank you guys.
Yes. So myself and Kumbi, we plan to continue the conversation and the discussion because, the thing is about context and everyone come to say the thing from one accord. And the only thing we really have to agree upon is what has been agreed upon already. You don't have to make up nothing. You see it? Follow the Benki, I can't take it off the phone.
oh, Ethiopia. Oh, Ethiopia. Your children coming home to Africa. We coming home to Africa. We struggle in America. We struggle in Canada. Worse in England. London Bridge is burning down. The London Bridge is burning down. So can you tell me where that queen of a run? Can you tell me where that hope of a ton? What happened to the wicked leaders, them on the land? Cause anyway them run them off a tumble down. And anyway them turn them up, they get them fire burnt. Oh Ethiopia. Oh Ethiopia. Your children coming home to Africa.
Scared of height. Some people scared of driving fast. Some people scared of ghosts. Some people scared of the truth.